Good evening. A silent yet politically loud storm appears to be brewing in both the ruling Kenya Kwanza and Azimio party members of the latter questioning the central contribution to the Raila loss. In Kenya Kwanza, Nyeri governor is breathing fire with claims of a region being shortchanged. Tonight we make sense of the latest in politics. But first, these are the stories making headlines tonight. Tonight, fake Dr. Mugo was sentenced to another 29 years for sedating a woman and operating a hospital without a license. Also tonight, the owner of a building that collapsed in Ruaka last week, killing 2 people, arrested at JKIA as she attempted to flee the country.
Nilipata ndio tunaambiwa 10 minutes kila mtu akuwa ametoka kwa nyumba. So kitu yenye nilichukua tu ni TV na gas na meko ya gas.
This as another building collapses in Ruiru a day after tenants were evacuated. Plus, the debate on GMO intensifies.
I want to call the minister to stop with immediate effect. I'm going to petition tomorrow Parliament, so that Parliament can also weigh on this issue.
As farmers in Wasingishu now want the government to buy their produce before importing maize. Catherine Simaloi is our sign language interpreter. Good evening. I'm Abubakar Abdullahi. Welcome to the broadcast. To our top story tonight, and the owner of a building that collapsed in Ruaka, Kiambu County, was arrested in the wee hours of Monday, trying to flee the country. Her arrest comes a few hours after another building came tumbling down in Ruiru in the same county of Kiambu. At least 4 buildings have caved in Nairobi and Kiambu counties in the last 2 months, resulting in loss of lives and properties. Our senior reporter Sharon Baranga begins our broadcast tonight.
In Ruiru, Kiambu County, the story of residents who once called this building home would have turned out differently were it not for the county government. The 5-story building came tumbling down a few hours after the governor, Kimani Wamatangi, ordered for immediate evacuation on Sunday after it developed cracks. The swift decision from the governor saved the lives of more than 200 residents. No injuries were reported.
Kumekuanga na 2 cracks kidogo kidogo wana repair. And then hiyo nyumba venye hata wewe ungeiona kabla haijaporomoka ungejua ungetarajia inaweza cause hiyo damage. But mimi langu nashukuru Mungu sana, hata kama sikuweza kuokoa vitu zangu niko safe na familia yangu iko safe.
Ningetaka magavana hata wa Kenya nzima kila mtu anapotaka kujenga jumba lake wahakikishe wamefuata kila kanuni. Before hiyo nyumba ijengwe wahakikishe kila kitu iko sawa, kuta zake ziko sawa, ndio at least tuweze kuprevent watu kufariki.
Property of unknown value was destroyed. The building was used as a residential and business premise.
In loss, it's like worth of, I think my goods is more than 12 million shilling lying in the store.
Mali yangu wadhi kama milioni 1 ndio iliporomokewa na hii nyumba. Kwa hivyo naona hasara kubwa sana, na hiyo hasara sijui nani atanirudishia hiyo hasara nimepata. Kwa hivyo kwa sababu hasara yangu imerudi chini sana.
The Ruiru building now adds to the long list of buildings that have come tumbling down in the past 1 year, resulting to loss of lives and properties. Early Monday morning, the owner of a building that collapsed in Ruaka, Kiambu County, was arrested at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, trying to flee from the country.
Usiku kuamkia leo, tulipata mwenye nyumba akiwa anatoroka kwenda ng'ambo. Tulimpatia airport. Akienda ng'ambo tuko na yeye katika cell ya police.
The owner of the Ruiru building is currently being sought after. Kiambu County Commissioner says efforts by security agencies to arrest rogue developers were being frustrated by culprits rushing to court to obtain restraining orders.
We are cruising in on that person. Actually, any time Atisita kusema leo ama kesho ama saa hizi, lakini anytime muweke mazikio sawa sawa, mtasikia tumeshika mtu leo kwenda forward. Tukiongozwa na governor, tumeunda a multi-agency committee ya kusunguka pamoja na NCA, tukipiga msasa zile majengo zinaendelea na zile ambazo tunaona zinaweza kuwa sikufuata utaratibu, na yote tumesema tukipata tuna recommend na inateremshwa chini.
We have a lot of developers who are also constructing without consulting professionals. Like this building we have here, there is evidence that the owner tried to do some works to support the building. If you go to the basement, you can see that there are additional columns that have been introduced to try and support the building. So he knew there was a problem with the building, and at that point he should have either stopped or evacuated people and not allowed to have tenants in the building.
Poor quality construction works coupled with use of substandard steel and cement have also been pointed as largely responsible for collapse of buildings, an illegality that has made many contractors overnight millionaires at the expense of occupants. At least 4 buildings have caved in Nairobi and Kiambu counties in the last 2 months, resulting in loss of lives and properties. Sharon Baranga, TV 47.
Moving on, Quack Dr. James Mugo, alias Mugo wa Wairimu, has been sentenced to 29 years by a Nairobi court. This is after he was found guilty of illegally running a clinic and sedating patients to perform sexual offenses against them. Mugo was faced with 12 accounts of charges but was convicted over 10 accounts earlier last week. The name Mugo wa Wairimu hit the headlines back in 2014. Moige William reports.
Chief Magistrate Wendy Mishemi, sitting at the Milimani Law Courts, slapped Quack Doctor, famously known as Mugo wa Wairimu, with 29 years in jail after being convicted to unlawfully administering drugs to patients at a clinic he was running in Githurai in 2015 and taking advantage of them.
Mr. Mugo, having acquired some medical knowledge in nursing, decided to abuse that knowledge and administer drugs to unsuspecting clients so as to engage in despicable acts with them.
In a mitigation, Mugo urged the court to issue a lenient judgment, taking note that his education, which he undertook at the University of Nairobi in the late 90s in nursing, will be of no meaningful use if the court sends him to jail for a longer period. But Magistrate Mishemi, in her ruling, noted that Mugo was a great danger to the society and especially women.
I was doing it so that I could serve my country. Actually, I had qualified for other more prestigious courses, including architecture, engineering, actuarial science, and all that. But I felt I wanted to serve humanity and my country.
He went out of his way in a most sinister way to endanger helpless victims, most of them women, by purporting to be a gynecologist and many other traits, and would administer the drugs to them and have sexual acts with him.
Mugo is also serving 11 years in prison for operating unlicensed medical facilities in Kayole. In the Monday ruling, Chief Magistrate Mishemi did not offer an option of paying fine to the convict.
As this court noted in the judgment, that most probably even the count number 1, that is the rape, was committed, only the evidential threshold in a criminal matter was not met.
Mugo was facing 12 counts related to sexual assault and operating illegal health facilities, with his name hitting the headlines in the year 2015. Moige William, TV 47.
Elsewhere, a college student has denied selling fake national examination papers through his Telegram account of 20,000 followers. On Monday, the suspect, Peter Kamanjan Jambi, was charged in court. The second-year student at Rift Valley Institute of Science and Technology was accused of knowingly publicizing information through electronic media, operating under the name Professor David, claiming to be offering Kenya national examination papers, which he knew to be false. It is alleged he committed the offences on various dates between the 1st of November 2022 and the 19th of November 2022 at a unknown location within the country. Peter also faces other charges of unlawfully being in possession of an East African community passport in the name of David Kimani Dhuo in Nakuru County. The accused was apprehended on the 19th of November 2022 as part of a combined operation by the Kenya National Examination Council and the Directorate of Criminal Investigations. He was granted a cash bail of 500,000 shillings or an alternative of 1 million shillings bond. The case will be mentioned on the 5th of December 2022.
Public officer, and in the month of August 2022 at a non-date in Babadogo.
Now, the debate to legalize and import more than 10 million sacks of maize within a period of 6 months has further elicited mixed reactions among Kenyans and political leaders. Maize farmers in Uasin Gishu County have now asked the government to buy their maize that they have been harvesting before allowing the importation of other maize from foreign countries. And as Mike Kagwongo now reports, Pokot South Member of Parliament David Kosing is now planning to petition the move in Parliament that will stop the government's action of importing GMO maize.
Barely a day after Azimio One Kenya coalition leader Raila Odinga asked Industries, Trade and Investment CS Moses Kuria to apologize and also stop his plan to import GMO maize in the country. Farmers now says if the government allows the importation of maize, this may affect the price of maize product in the country and therefore cause losses to them following high cost of production this year.
Ni jukumu la serikali kununua yale mahindi ambayo iko pahali kwa soko na kupeleka huko.
Tununue mahindi yetu ile tuko nayo kabla huja import, hata kama ni kwako bwana, kabla hujaenda supermarket unatumia sukari yenye uko kunayo kwa nyumba kwanza.
Speaking in a meeting in Eldoret, Uasin Gishu County, Maize Farmers asked elected leaders from the area to fight for their interests to enable them get profit from their farming. Korea announced that the government will soon allow a 6-month duty-free importation of 10 million bags of GMO and non-GMO maize for food security.
Wakati una import vitu, unapeleka ile capital ama ile pesa mingi kama 70% unapelekea mwenye unaenda kununua kwake. Unapaki na 30%.
Speaking on Thursday, Korea said there is nothing wrong adding GMO foods to the list of things that kill Kenyans, sparking mixed reactions among Kenyans. Pokot South MP David Kosin said the planned importation will be detrimental to the maize farmers who spent a fortune to produce their grain.
I want to call the minister to stop with immediate effect. I am going to petition tomorrow Parliament so that Parliament can also weigh in on this issue, that the minister should stop. And if he doesn't stop, we'll tell the farmers. And he will see the wrath of farmers.
He said that the government should mop up maize from farmers in North Rift and only import in March next year, once farmers' products have been sold.
The minister should not import even one single bag of maize between now and February, March next year. Is when we can now say the minister will have mopped all the maize from our farmers. Then now, if there is no sufficient maize, he can argue. And where is public participation? He's forgotten. And that's why I'm saying that the minister is erratic. He used to be erratic, I know him. He should stop and know that he's the minister.
Kosin said the farmers spent an average of 60,500 shillings to produce 25 bags in 1 acre of land. As such, farmers should be allowed to sell their produce to the government at least 4,500 shillings per 90 kg bag.
We want the minister to open or to link with his minister or colleague for agriculture and open NCBBs immediately and give the farmers good price. And the minimum price farmers are telling me to tell him today is 4,500 a bag.
Mike Kagwongo, TV 47, Nairobi.
Now, Kenya and the Democratic Republic of Congo will form a joint committee on security, trade and investment. President William Ruto has announced The head of state stated that Kenya reaffirms its support of restoring peace and stability in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo and the region at large. The president visited the troubled country days after the Kenya Defense Forces arrived there in a peacekeeping mission.
We have set up a joint committee of ministers who will work around the clock on all the matters that are of importance to our two countries, from security to trade to investment to agriculture to energy and all the other areas that we have agreed upon, including public administration, so that we can leverage on the advantages we have in our countries for the mutual benefit of the people of DRC and the people of Kenya. I look forward to receiving President Tshisekedi in Nairobi early next year to be able to take these discussions to the next level. And Mr. President, I want to thank you very sincerely for your leadership and for your commitment to securing all the people of the DRC and making sure that this country is safe and secure. And I want to promise you my commitment, and I want to promise you my support and that of the people and government of Kenya in your quest to have a peaceful country so that development and progress can be achieved.
Well, tonight, a parliamentary coffee caucus of members of parliament drawn from coffee growing areas are protesting the listing of former cabinet secretaries Peter Munya and Ukuri Yatani as trustees of the new Kenya Planters Cooperative Union. Speaking in Manzoni, Machakos County, the caucus chair and Githunguri member of parliament, Gathoni wa Mushomba, says that it was out of order for the two former cabinet secretaries to be listed as shareholders.
Stung by the urgency to initiate reforms in the coffee sector, the legislators, under the auspices of the Parliamentary Coffee Caucus, have trained their guns on former Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Peter Munya and his Treasury counterpart in the previous regime, Ukuri Yatani, whom they claim are listed as directors of the new Kenya Planters Cooperative Union, KPCU.
And to our surprise today, we have realized that even the people who are purported to be the owners, the trustees, who have taken over the ownership of new KPCU are former cabinet secretaries. One Yatani, the former Treasury Cabinet Secretary, and one Munya Gatirao, a former Agriculture Cabinet Secretary.
You cannot be a caretaker when you have shares. Shares means you spend your money, you bought it. You invested in it. If Munya dies today, unfortunately he's not. If he dies today, it becomes a court issue. Yeah, sure. The family will want to take over new KPCU. Yes. This is why we are saying he must come out clean.
The long-day meeting at the Manzoni Lodge, attended by the cooperative's Cabinet Secretary Simon Chelugui, also agreed to take the matter to Parliament to strike out the two, while pledging to initiate reforms by overturning the coffee regulations passed by Munya, even if it takes an executive order.
It's an issue that has come up in this meeting, and it's something I commit myself to rectify if that is the situation, and restore back the leadership of the assets and the resources of farmers back to KPCU.
Munya was also put on the spot on how he has managed the 3.5 billion shillings coffee cherry advance scheme under the new Kenya Planters Cooperative Union KPCU fund, which the MPs lamented has only sent 500 million shillings since it kicked off in 2019.
Wakati Munya alipokuja kuweka sheria zake, akafanya amendment ya zile regulations za 2019 za task force, alikuja yeye akawekelea mambo mengine tofauti ambayo ilikuja kuprotect ama kuzuia cartels kuondoka katika soko.
Huwezi kuwa ati kutoka wakati tulizaliwa
kahawa huko soko tunasikia inatoka shilingi 400, shilingi 500, lakini ile bei inafikia mwananchi ama inafikia mkulima wa kahawa ni shilingi 50.
Unlike in previous parliaments, the caucus, which also handled the tea sector, has changed tact to focus on TV47.
Elsewhere, Eldoret-based human rights activists working with street families have condemned the killing of street urchin in Eldoret Town on Sunday night. The activists have accused members of the public and Uasin Gishu County enforcement officers for being behind the inhuman act targeting innocent children who live on the street. Boniface Barasa reports.
The body of the deceased Dominic Barasa, 22 years old, was found in a pool of blood in Pioneer Estate in the outskirts of Eldoret Town with several head injuries. His colleagues claimed that he was ambushed and killed by irate members of the public who accused him that he was involved in the mugging witnessed in Eldoret Town in broad daylight last week Thursday.
Wengine wakaruka maji huko. Iko mmoja alienda hata na maji, hatujui kwenye alienda, maji limbeba. Ilikuwa kijana mdogo. Hiyo masaa akamtoa mbio hivyo akamfukuza. Na kuna jamaa mwingine hapo machoni ndiye alikuwa anamfuata.
Yokabedo Wino, a human rights activist working with street families in Eldoret Town, has condemned the incident and called for speedy investigation to the matter that has left the street urchin worried.
Tumestuka sana na tunashangaa sana na uoga umetuingia kabisa, kwa sababu hatujui sasa imekuwa namna gani. Tutateseka kwa mkono ya serikali. Kama iwapo walikuwa wameiba, si wangehusisha basi serikali ya kwamba mtu ameiba badala ya kumpiga na kumuua kiunyama jinsi hiyo.
The killing of Barasa comes after another street urchin was raped and killed in Kamkunji Estate in the outskirts of Eldoret Town.
We want security to be everywhere because we want this town to be a city. And when it is a city, we'll be enhancing services.
With the concern, if they have any concerns of insecurity again, we are going to provide security even in those markets so that business goes uninterrupted.
Barasa's body has been moved to the morgue as the investigation to his death continues. Boniface Barasa, TV47.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua now says Kenya will continue to engage Western countries for the sake of development. The remarks appeared to target Azimio la Umoja leader Raila Odinga, who had earlier indicated that Kenya Kwanza government was cozying up too much with the West. He was speaking in Garissa County, where he launched a drought response plan to tackle the ongoing drought in the country. He further stated that the government plans to build dams across the country as a long-term measure.
I urge you, the constituency pia kuna tragedy nyingine. We had another tragedy in this constituency, epicenter of drought in the region. The symbolic in the sense that your cameras are there.
Tutafute suluhisho la kudumu ya kuchimba dams ya kutosha kote katika Jamhuri ya Kenya, ili ikuwe suluhisho ambaye ni ya kudumu kusaidia Wakenya wasikufe kwa njaa, na situkue kila mwaka tunatafuta usaidizi ya kuomba chakula, na ni mambo ambaye tunaelewa ya kwamba hii hali itaendelea kwa miaka mingi. Rais William Ruto anashauriana na hao wazungu, atashauriana na wa China na wa Russia na wa Arabu na wa Afrika, atashauriana na kuwa na mpango na yeyote katika duniani hii ambaye anatakia Kenya mema. Nyinyi mko na shida na hiyo wazungu wakitusaidia? Mko na shida? Na ile mzee anakuweka shida yake ni gani? Hapa nimeingia hapa kwa hospitali, nimeona usaidizi ya UNICEF, ya World Food Program, hawa wanaita the West, ndio wanasaidia watu hapa ya Garissa. So wamemsaidia. Naona yeye analalamika na amekaa Nairobi anakaa mzuri. Wewe mzee, wewe kaa Nairobi, wachana na sisi. Wachana na Rais William Ruto. Atafute wazungu, atafute wa China, atafute mtu yeyote katika duniani atasaidia wa Kenya.
Elsewhere, a family in Nakuru County is pleading for help to settle a bill of 5.5 million shillings to allow the body of their kin that had been detained at Omash Funeral Home for 1 year to be released for burial. The family says the bill is too high for them to raise. Chichi Josephine with that story.
As Kenya and the world at large lost countless of its people to COVID-19 in the past 2 years, many relatives of the deceased went through agonizing pain. The late Kigera Mwai was among those that died on 6th of October 2021 after contracting the deadly virus.
Naliaga juu ya corona. Aliaga on 6 October 2021.
According to his widow Eunice Nyambura, they pleaded with the hospital as well as the Omash management to release Kigera's body, promising to pay the bill in intervals, but both managements refused.
Tuliwaambiwa tutoe pesa hiyo milioni 5.5 ndio tupewa mwili. Sasa sisi tukashindwa. Kuenda huko tena makasema hatutaki kusikia hiyo maneno yenu, tunataka pesa.
Nyambura explains how difficult life has become for her as she has been depressed with the hope that her husband's body will be released for burial.
Naishi na usuni sana kwa sababu kila siku nafikiria si yako kwa mochari sasa, hata kasi sifanyagi vile inakuwa nikifikiria tu maneno yake.
Their neighbor James Karaoke says the bill has hugely ballooned, making it difficult for the family and the community at large to raise the money, further calling on well-wishers to chip in and help the family settle the bill.
Na tumekaa naye hapa zaidi ya miaka 30 ya udise. Na wakati tulienda huko, bill ni kama vile mama amesema, na kama community hapa ingekuwa vingumu sana sisi kuweza kuchangisha pesa kiasi hicho. Kwa hivyo sasa tunangojea tu wahisani, wale watu wa nia njema tusaidiane ili tuweze kupata hizo pesa, tulipe mochari ili tuweze kupumzisha ndugu yetu huyo.
Karaoke adds that the current government should come up with policies to help the less fortunate who suffer from misfortunes like COVID-19, as well as urging private hospitals to be considerate of the people who may not be able to cater for such huge bills.
Kwanza tuseme kama sasa most of the mortuaries unajua ni ya kibinafsi, wangekuwa na huruma pia kwa sababu wakiona mwili umekaa na wale ambao ni wahusika hawana nguvu ya kulipa, wangekubali mwili uzikwe, alafu watu waendelee kutafuta nini? Kutafuta pesa kama wahisani wakipatikana.
Chichi Josephine, TV 47.
Let's count the cost, and Equity Group has named Samuel Kirubi as its new Group Chief Operating Officer. Kirubi has been promoted from his current role as Managing Director of Equity Bank Uganda. The announcement of the appointment was made by the Board of Directors and the Board Chairman, Mark, on Monday. Kirubi has been with the lender since 2001, rising through the ranks to serve in various managerial roles, including COO for Equity South Sudan and Managing Director for Equity Bank Rwanda. Now, online drivers have for the second time threatened to down their tools for what they term is negligence and sidelining of them by their employer. They accuse their employer, the app owners, of attempts of not reaching them. According to Anissa Taxi for Women, the online mode of transport will only be favorable if the employers will put up mechanism to support its employees and not sideline them during making of critical decisions affecting the online mode of transport.
So we also want to offer like a ride-sharing option where women can also, 2 or 3 women can use one cab instead of having many cabs at the same time. So, the less congested it is, it's better for the environment, better for the country as well. So I think definitely it's a good initiative to take. So unfortunately, there are some competitors who have hidden charges in their apps. We don't. So whatever it is, confirm with the driver that this is the amount they're going to pay us. That's all that they give us as a company. And then also our returns are better to them. So as a company, we're trying our best to make sure that our drivers are happy because we're working with women. Women, the mothers, they're hardworking. getting out on Nairobi streets is not easy. So we want to make sure our drivers are happy, they're getting good returns, and we don't have any hidden charges with us.
The Anti-Counterfeit Authority has issued a warning to anyone who will be found in possession of illegal products in the country. Speaking at a Nairobi hotel, the authority's board chair, Flora Mutahi, asked all manufacturers in the country to ensure their products are branded and available to the market to avoid any opportunity for illegal products replacing the original and legit ones. The conference brought together different stakeholders from different sectors, including Kenya Manufacturers Association and the Kenya Bureau of Standards, among others.
I think we're in the right direction. We want to get to the right place. We don't want to keep destroying goods. We should not even get them here in the first place. Let it be kept where it was supposed to have come from. Why do we need to destroy? It's better if we keep it there rather than making sure that they're destroyed in Kisumu or we ask the importer to pay for the destruction charges.
We don't just want to walk around knocking one door to another after another. That would be a waste of resources. So we are doing what we call market-led investigations.
When you buy a counterfeit product, whether it's electrical cable, the person who has produced that product is only interested in making profits. He has no future plans. It's a short-term, way of making money.
The home of untold stories. Sonadol Extra imetengenezwa kwa njia spesheli kupambana haraka na maumivu ya kichwa, mwili na hata meno. Sonadol Extra, hakika maumivu yakizidi, pata ushauri wa daktari. Well, do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga,
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga,
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga.
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and Feel Good Friday with amazing DJs, celebs,
waimbaji, kuna comedians, alafu kuna wajinga.
and music bands every Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. How well do you know what's happening around you? Morning Cafe with heated political debates. Baraza la siasa.
Hiyo kitu azungumzie, angalie hali ya maisha ya watu.
Informative health discussions. Business, farming. Tasty Wednesday, Fitness Thursday, and
Sportsman Dennis Otieno is with me in studio.